Is Sophie.
Great.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Brunke. I'm the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. This is our monthly conversation about sales. And who better to talk about that? It's such a hot topic right now for our speaker because she's got a new book and it addresses exactly what we love to talk about. And that is, how do we become more effective in our selling? I was thinking of you earlier today, Jennifer, because I had a couple different sales calls that went completely different than what I had expected through the whole process. One much better, and one, not that it was bad, it was just completely different from what I had expected. And it reminded me a little bit about what I've read of your book and of your work. And so it was like, wow, I can't wait to hear Jennifer today in the conversation. So looking forward to hearing your perspectives on really having all of us as salespeople stand out in special ways and also be able to be more effective in our communication and ultimately to be more successful. What would you like to talk about today? What's on your mind?
Well, I'd love to share some ways that you can prepare, share, and care in client relationships. So how you set yourself up for success, what you do when you're doing an interaction, as well as what you do after. Today is going to be an overview, Doug, based on some of the conversations I've had with Global Chamber members, as well as yourself and Jem preparing for the event, giving people tactical and practical tools they can use immediately to put in their toolbox. So after 15 years working on Wall Street, I started my own company in 23, and I really want to bring to light some of the tools that have worked very effectively to close some of the biggest deals in history.
Fantastic. You have a new book. How will that tie into what we're talking about today?
So thank you for asking about that. So the new book is, oh, here, I have a copy right here, plus behind me. So it's Hearts, Minds, and Wallets, the thin book that closes gigantic deals. And this is literally tools and tips that you can use to incorporate into your everyday practice to level up how you speak in a human way with other people. So what I did was I made it into 12 different chapters. Again, following that model of what you can do before a meeting to set yourself up for success, the interaction and post meeting in those 12 chapters. Each tool is paired with a relevant story that brings the tool to illumination and it reinforces it, because we know about story selling, and telling and how it works with the brain. It's very important that when you tell stories, it relates to someone, goes to long-term memory for longer, and it talks about the prefrontal cortex as well. So what I've done is, having worked with well over 40,000 people globally around the world, I took those tools and templates and I packaged them into a thin book that people can use as a reference guide to help them to have more relational conversations, add value, and be unique.
Fantastic. How would you like to structure today's conversation?
Well, thank you very much, Doug. I would love it to be highly interactive. There's a few key principles I'd like to highlight that are from my experience and from the book. And this really would be wonderful to be interactive. So if it's okay, Doug, I'd like to welcome everyone as much as possible to turn on your cameras. Jim, you were the first person to join. Basile, am I saying your name properly?
Yeah, Basil.
Bazil, nice to meet you. So their cameras are on, which means that it's a free-for-all. I'm going to be calling on you for sure, but I'd love to have everyone as much as possible around the world dial in and turn their cameras on, because I'd love this to be highly interactive. What do you think, Doug?
It's awesome, and what a great group. I see Ruby and Nikhil and Milton, Larry Hart, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for joining today. Jim Cook is an extraordinary leader who works with many folks and helps them get to a better sales place. And Jermil and Emily, Eduardo, he is helping us in selling both on the United States side of the border and the Mexico side. Dennis, I don't know. Bill, I know very well. He's unbelievable. He's amazing. And he's going to be a great contributor today, I'm sure. And Anne Marie in Dublin. Oh my, thank you for joining. Andrew as well. I think actually Andrew might be near you. Are you in Jersey or are you in New York?
Yes, I live in New Jersey, originally born and raised in Washington State, moved to
Okay.
London for 3.5 years, and I do a lot of global work to this day. I've worked and I've coached and trained in 16 different countries around the world, all over Asia Pacific, all over the Europe, continental Europe, also the UK, and of course the Americas. But I am based right now in New Jersey. This is where I live.
So there's a little bit of an East Coast thing because I think Andrew is either in Philly or Boston, so
Oh,
East Coast, and Basile is in DC. So we've got kind of the Amtrak line going on. And having myself been in Delaware, I'm very familiar with the area.
yeah.
So please go ahead. I'll step out of the way, and I'm looking forward to learning and participating. Thank you so much.
So kind, Doug. Thank you for again for being here, and I'm honored to be a part of the Global Chamber. It's a fantastic group. Imagine you are walking down the street. You see money on the ground. How much will it take for you to stop what you are doing and pick up the money?
0 second.
So, Basile, go ahead.
0 second.
0 seconds. How much
Mhm.
money will you stop and pick up? If you see something on the ground, how much does the amount of money matter to you?
Not at all.
Not at all. You'll stop and do it no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I
ask
love
question afterward.
I love that. So good. All right. Anne Marie, how about you? How much money would it take for you to stop what you're doing and pick it up?
Probably a minimum of a 50.
A 50. Wait,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're based in Dublin. Is that
Dublin,
in
so 50 euro, $50. But yeah, so
okay.
yeah, would need to be something sizable.
Okay. Excellent to know. Jim, how about yourself? I love this.
As Doug knows, I'm always the outliner. I've got 7 grandkids, 3 kids, 3 in-laws. I save all their birth coins. So I'll pick up a penny if it's the right year.
Fantastic. I love
And I'll
that.
do it.
And I love
And
the
I'll do it.
relational.
Yeah, I'll
Go
do
ahead,
that in a
please.
second also.
I love it. Beautiful, beautifully construed. So everyone, this is called the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is what is the valuation of your time in money? So what happened was in 2011, Neil deGrasse Tyson, a very famous astrophysicist, calculated the richest person on the planet in that year. What would it be for them to stop what they were doing for 3 seconds of their time, the time it takes to bend down, pick something off the ground? Their valuation, the richest person in 2011, that is not modern day Elon Musk money, by the way. It was 45,000 US dollars or roughly 40,000 pounds. What's interesting about this is that's 3 seconds of their time. So, Jim, for you, it could be a penny. Basile, for you, it could be nothing. And Anne Marie, I think you're going to pay for drinks when we all get together because you're doing very well at $50 for, or 50 euros or $50 for your 3 seconds of time. So the opportunity cost is very interesting because it's deciding on how we spend our time, who we spend our time, and the money valuation. The challenge I have with this equation personally is it doesn't take into consideration the amount of time we spend lamenting or ruminating or thinking about something. Today is all about how you can take ideas immediately into action. It's practical and tactical tools and tips. The theoretical of how you sell and why you sell, that's one thing. But what happened is over time, having worked in 16 different countries, I was in financial services on Wall Street for 15 years, 10 of which JP Morgan Asset Management. I coached and trained salespeople to literally close some of the biggest deals, multi double digit billion dollars. So these are tools and tips that usually were used in practice to help prepare people for meetings, pitches. And most importantly, it's about the relational connection we have to others that can possibly lead to transactional. Now, before I begin, I want to check in with you and see if there's any questions or comments as I jump into this. And be afraid, be very afraid, because I will call on you at any time. There is no one safe in this room, just so you know. Bill, I see you clapping. You'll be the first, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm married for 45 years, so I'm used to being afraid.
That's funny. I love it. By the way, everyone, one quick note for you. When somebody asks an open-ended question, it takes the average person, none of us are average, it does take the average person, if it's a complex open-ended question, about 8 seconds to respond. So when you're in a meeting or you're in a facilitation or a conversation and you ask a complex question, how are people feeling about the possible tariffs posed by the United States on the rest of the world as it compares to the companies you actually own? We're not going to answer that in this call, but that's a very complex question. It takes people time to think about it, organize their thoughts, then say it. So give people time to respond. And yes, I'm filling the time just in case you have anything you want to say in a response. With that, let's begin. I'm going to jump into some of the content. I'm going to share a couple of slides just for you to consult. So we're going to talk today interactively about how you can think about preparing, sharing, and caring for prospects, clients, and colleagues. So let's first start with something called emotional contagion. All right, Ruby, I see you looking at me. I'm looking at you. I have a question for you. When someone you know really, really well walks into a room and they are in a bad mood, they haven't said a word, but they're in a bad mood. What do you observe about them, Ruby?
Facial expression?
Yes, what does their expression look like?
Sad, confused.
Good. And how does that make you feel?
If it's somebody that is very close to me, I'll be really concerned. I'll be concerned and want to know more.
Phenomenal. Now let's flip the script. That same person walks in the room you know very well. They're in a fabulous mood. They're very, very happy and they haven't said a word. What do you observe about them and how does it make you feel?
I think I'll feel energized by, the expression, and that will attract me to kind of strike a conversation right away.
Beautiful. Fantastic. I love it. Thank you so much. That was beautifully answered and very quick too. Thank you for that, Ruby. So everyone, this is actually called emotional contagion. So when your internal dialogue, when you have that internal dialogue, it can become external action. So setting a precedent. So let's say, for example, you had a 9:30 meeting. The prospect, the client, your colleague, someone said no. 10 o'clock, you're meeting with new people. How do you rebaseline yourself very quickly to not bring all of that negative energy or someone saying no into the next meeting? The idea is when you prepare for your meeting, it's having that first time experience every time you meet someone. Now, I could have met the person 5 times, 20 times, but what's happening is I want to every single time I meet that person come with the best version of who I am. By the way, I wake up like this every day, sunshine coming out of my eyeballs. I'm happy to be alive. I have very high energy. I do not expect in any way, shape, or form for you to be like myself. I want you to be authentically who you are. But it's about disengaging from that negative, bad energy that happened at 9:30 where someone said no and you might be upset, rebaselining yourself for 10 o'clock. So let's see who's next. This is going to be fun. Bill. I'm going to call on you. So, what is your favorite food?
Whatever my wife has prepared that night.
I love it. You're hilarious.
No, just well trained.
I love it. So, when you eat your wife's food, what do
Yeah.
you feel?
What appreciated and loved and happy.
Fantastic. I love that. We're going to hold on to that. I'm now going to go to, let's see, who else do we have on the line? Even though they're not on camera, I'm still going to call on them. Let's see. Oh, Dennis, I see you're on the line with us. Could you unmute yourself for one moment, Dennis? Oh, you're on a train. Okay, no problem. Totally fine. All right, Emily, let's call on you then. I'm curious for you, Emily, what is your favorite place to travel in the world? Feel free to unmute yourself, Emily. We're going to give her 3 more seconds. Okay. Andrew, how about you? Favorite place to travel? I'm not going to give up easily, Doug, just so you know. Sorry, I am driving. Okay. People are getting scared now.
They're driving, they're on a train. Somebody's going to be on a plane.
I can't wait for it. That's going to be great. So, Andrew, curious from you, where is your favorite place to travel? All right, so I'm learning my lesson now, Doug. Maybe stick with the people that chose to put their cameras on. How's that?
There you go. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, if you guys want to participate, take your camera off and I think it'll be a great experience. But if you can't, if you're on a train or a plane or a ship, perhaps, we totally understand.
Amazing. Doug, actually, I'm going to ask the question to you then. So, what is your favorite place to travel?
I love Japan. Anywhere in Japan, climbing Mount Fuji, going to an island and eating lobster barbecue somewhere. Going up north, Kiritampo Nabe, which is a beautiful dish served in the wintertime. Whatever it is for food and the people, it's an amazing place.
Incredible. What does it make you feel when you're there?
It oddly makes me feel like I'm home, which is kind of weird because I'm German, Polish, American, but I love the intimacy and the personalness of the people and the location.
Phenomenal. I love that. All right. Anne Marie, what is your favorite pump up music? You're not feeling well, or maybe you're going to the gym and you want to feel inspired. Obviously, mine is Pitbull. I feel good. So that's, I don't know about you, but I feel good. That's mine. What is your pump up music? If you're comfortable sharing, of course. I know this is
Yeah,
personal.
probably something like Beyonce or some of Taylor Swift's fast songs, but probably Beyonce for the gym, I would think of.
Good. And what does it make you feel when you listen to Beyonce's music?
Yeah, energized. It's a lot of it is high energy.
Phenomenal, high energy. Okay, so favorite food feels appreciated, feels strangely like home, going to Japan, and you feel high energy. That's emotional contagion. So the idea is at 9:59, you've just had a terrible call. How can you quickly rebaseline yourself? Think about your favorite food, how it makes you feel, your favorite place to travel, how it makes you feel, or favorite music. Now, there's a fourth thing as well, which I don't ask anymore. I did this once in a sales conference in front of 300 people. The person shared something that I didn't think was quite appropriate. It was an HR group, believe it or not. Your proudest moment and how it makes you feel. So what happens is we want to change your internal dialogue to become external action. So you show up at that 10 o'clock meeting as the best version of yourself. So that's something you can consider going forward and doing. Emotional contagion is a psychological term, and it's literally changing your DNA structure, your cellular structure, and showing up as the best version of yourself. So your positivity, your emotions are contagious. All right, so let's do the next one. I'm very excited. Has anyone ever played a musical instrument? Good. Anne Marie, Larry, have you?
I have played some instruments, sure.
Fantastic. What instruments do you play?
Piano and guitar.
Ooh, fantastic. How long have you been doing that for?
I don't really do it much anymore, but I took lessons growing up and then decided I like to listen to the music a lot more than I like to play the music.
Fair. Well, congratulations and kudos to you for playing those instruments. So in
Yeah.
music, did you learn about something called the hook?
You mean like the hook in a song or something
Yes,
else?
in a song.
Okay, so the hook, like maybe a chorus or something that grabs you, maybe a guitar riff or something, right? Is that what you're talking about?
100%. That's exactly what I was looking for. Rock
Okay.
star. By the way, we didn't actually practice that, everyone, just so you know. Larry just naturally knew it. So it's great.
Yeah, meeting for the first time here.
Absolutely. So that's wonderful. So the hook is that repeatable chorus, something you remember, something that catches your attention. Good. So everyone, communication borrowed the hook as well. The hook is what you say in the very beginning. We say it's about the first 7 to 9 seconds you have when speaking to someone to capture their attention. Often presenters will say something like this: I'm so happy, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me here today. The person listening to you has already tuned you out. So when you network, when you introduce yourself, when you introduce an idea, headline language is very, very important. So what happened was years ago when teaching salespeople to sell a topic or self or something else, thinking about those 7 to 9 seconds that translate into a 15-word sentence. So roughly 7 to 9 seconds is 15 words. This construct works for many things. So think about when you look through social media and you scroll, a headline captures your attention, the first opening statements, that visual as well. You're networking, you're introducing a topic or idea or a product. What are the first 15 words you say? I'm going to give you the tool now. This is how it works. This is the construct I came up with that works really, really well in practice. So it's 3 parts. The first part of the 15-word construct is what you do. The second part of the construct is who you do it with or do it for. And the third part is the why or the impact. So if someone says to you, "Hi, Ellen, it's nice to meet you." Really nice to meet you, Ellen. I would say to Ellen, for example, "What do you do?" And Ellen, feel free to take yourself off mute. I'd love to hear what you do for a living. Oh, we can't hear you. Might have to turn your volume more up.
I'm gonna cut these in half. Which one would you like?
Is it better?
Oh, that's better. Yes, I can hear you now. Perfect.
Mute.
Thank you so much. I'm the owner for a boutique brokerage and also property manager, asset management company in Vancouver, Canada.
Fantastic. Okay, love it. Beautiful. Now I have a question for you. What is the impact of your company?
I think really what we try to do is we try to help our client elevate their wealth and also elevate their lifestyle and make sure that, everything they want to do is basically help them make their life a better place, like make the world a better place. Yeah.
I love that. That's beautiful. Ellen, do I have your permission to do a little quick just on the in the moment coaching with you? Is that okay?
Yeah, that'll be great. Thanks.
Okay, I'm honored for the opportunity. So thank you so much, Ellen. Now, what I recommend is you have down what it is you do, who you work with, the impact. I would say we could work on just a little bit. So for example, when people say to me, "Jennifer, what do you do?" I often say I'm a communication sales specialist partnering with revenue generators to increase their market share into billions. So it's very prescriptive in that way. Now I can make it who I partner with first. I can move the impact first, move it around. I can be as specific as I want. But the reason for the brevity and the high level language and headline language is I want them to ask me more questions to carry on the conversation for a dynamic dialogue. I like everything you said. The one thing I would say, the word help puts you in a little bit of a different position when speaking. So you could use like partner, you enable, you elevate, you energize. So maybe a little more actionable verbiage in terms of what you do. And then I'm curious, how is what you do bespoke and different from other people that may do something similar?
Mhm. Is that a question for me?
It is.
I think the main thing is it's all about impact and all about contribution. And I think one of those is if you want to elevate other people's life, it's all about collaboration, communicating with others, and also be able to assist and help them if they are in needs. Yeah.
Good, excellent. So how is the impact that you're doing different? Is it through climate? Is it through financial? Is it through what is it? What is the path to and having higher impact and collaboration actually doing for the person or for others?
I think it's opportunities. If you look at it, when you talk about opportunity cost, right? So a lot of times, and I think in this world, it's all about who you know and who your connection and contacts are, and the opportunities you have. So being able to sit on various leadership roles allows me to expand on a lot of different opportunities and share actually my knowledge in terms of my travel and also opportunities that people do not see if they don't have a chance to be exposed to that. Yeah.
Okay, what you just said at the end was fantastic. You're there to literally unlock opportunities for others they may not see. I think that's really important for what you do. So I'm looking for what's really bespoke and unique about you, Ellen, that you do that other people don't do in the way that you do it. Because it's all about how you uniquely show up. So if it's okay, I'm going to have you sit with this for the next like 15 minutes or so of this session. And I'm going to come back to you if that's okay. So thinking about when you introduce yourself to someone in roughly 15 words, if it's 18 or 20, it's completely fine. What you do, who you partner with, service, clients, prospects, and then the impact of what you actually do or the outcome or the why. Are you okay with me doing that?
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you.
Amazing. Okay, I will be coming back to her, everyone. By the way, feel free to work on your own as well as we go through this whole exercise. So that's the 15-word sentence introduction. So poor Ellen, I just gave you homework on our call. Sorry about that. I am and I'm not, because hopefully it will be helpful to you. Now, also in terms of this, thinking about agenda-based meetings. Now, everyone, just so you know, I was quite famous. I was a senior executive director when I decided to start my own company in 2023, 2 years from being promoted to managing director at my job. I worked with tens of thousands of people all over the world, and probably about 7 years into my 15 years in Wall Street corporate America, I got very, very busy, as we all do. So what happened was this: I would not show up to a meeting, and it didn't matter if it was a CEO, somebody that was a CTO, CDO, didn't matter if it's C-suite or all the way down to new hire analyst or intern. I would not attend a meeting unless there was an agenda. So either I would create the agenda, or I'd ask what is, of course, if it's someone, a peer or someone more senior than myself and I'm asking for the meeting, I would create the agenda. But if it was somebody that asked to meet with me that maybe was a peer or someone that was a bit more emerging talent than myself, I would always say, what is the agenda? What is the purpose of our meeting? I'm very, very focused on respecting people's time, how you spend your time, where you spend your time with. So time is a non-renewable commodity. We cannot renew it, buy it, or multiply it. It's a one way. So who we spend our time with and how we spend our time with is really, really important. If you put some thought into an agenda, it's going to help to make your thoughts more organized and make sure that you show up as the best version of yourself. So Lauren, I can see you silently nodding your head at me, which is great. I have a question for you, Lauren. What are your thoughts on agenda-based meetings?
Well, it's especially important if you have a client that has significant ADHD and doesn't. I mean, yeah, we have that happening on Friday, and we have to keep him to the agenda because he's shifted his focus completely like 4 times already, and I'm just not doing this anymore. So it's because we didn't have an agenda. If we have an agenda, then we have to stick to the agenda. It guides the discussion, it guides the meeting, and it keeps us on track.
Love that so much. That's fantastic. So good. Thank you for that, Lauren. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So good. So everyone on the call, do me a favor, give me a raise of hands or type in the chat who actually writes a grocery list every single time you go to the grocery store. I'm honest, I don't either, by the way, Lauren, just so you know, but I do sometimes depending on where I go. Okay, let's
sure.
look in the chat for sure.
For sure, for me. Yep. We need some
Okay,
dialogue to fill in the gap of the blank space here.
You're awesome, Larry. So let's jump in then. What is your reason for writing a grocery list every time you go to the grocery store?
I guess I'm just organized that way. Maybe I learned it from my mom. I get it. My wife doesn't need a grocery list. She just seems to know intuitively. But I've found over the years that if I just go and get the 12 things that I need, I'm in and I'm out and I'm done. Other times, I'll admit, sometimes it's kind of fun to browse, or maybe I'll try this. So it kind of depends on what mood I'm in. But in general, I make a list and I have it right over there. And that's just, I'm out of pineapple, I get another pineapple, that kind of thing.
Do you think
Good.
that's a guy versus girl thing? Because
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, first of all, I use Instacart a lot. So that's the only time I really have a list. But sometimes if there's certain things that I need or my kid needs, then I'll make sure those are like on the list so I don't forget them. But otherwise, I'm like kind of like, I don't know. I feel like that. Do you remember there was a meme a few years ago, and I'm sure it's still around, where they had the guy going to get something at the mall and the woman going to get something at the mall. And the guy went, to the place, and the woman went like all around the mall. So, because we have to like look around and see things. But I think that guys need that list so that because otherwise they'll just go to the one place and they won't look at anything else. We
Yeah.
kind of know, I think, instinctively, kind of maybe. I don't know. I know what we need in my house.
Yeah.
So
Maybe it's
my
the difference
experience-
between buying and shopping, That's a fun
Exactly.
discussion.
And about the time you have to do it as well. And if you know what you
Yeah.
need. So I think that for me and my experience working with so many people, there's not a differentiation between the sexes per se. I think it's more
Okay.
in terms of what time you have, where you're spending your time, and if you're more visual, if you're more audible, how you learn neuroscience, the different parts of the brain, and how you absorb information and you're looking around. What's interesting about what Larry said too, and then also as well, Lauren, is it's about saving time. So you go in, you get in, and you get out. That's the reason for an agenda as well. So you have specificity around how you meet. Now, with an agenda, it doesn't have to be that specific. It could be general, but keeping yourself to a timestamp and organized is very important. So I'll give you a quick example. I worked with a colleague when I was at JP Morgan Asset Management for years, coached her, trained her. She was one of our most successful salespeople. She moved to the UK, new job, new asset manager. She was there about 2 years and then we connected. We hadn't talked for a while. And she said, Jennifer, I'm not doing well here. I don't know what happened. They don't use the same frameworks we did at the previous company. She goes, I've let all of the discipline and all the consistency go. And I said to her, what's one thing you can do that you think would be beneficial to your career and your clients? And she said, create an agenda. So this is a true story. I love sharing the story because it's amazing. She created literally an agenda for a prospect they've been trying to meet for months who didn't want to meet with them. Finally, she created it. Introductions, synergies and focus, point number 2. Point number 3 was feedback. Point number 4 was next steps. 30-minute meeting. You can't achieve a lot in a first meet and greet in 30 minutes. So they achieved everything with the exception of feedback. So 24 hours later, this prospect calls to my friend, inbound call, believe it or not, and said, I noticed point number 3 in the agenda we didn't go over during the call. Do you have time for me to give you feedback now? Fast forward 6 months, she closed a 350 million pound asset under management deal. And I joke around, it's because of the agenda. Well, it was product offering, it was fees, it was many different auxiliary, things to think about. But what happened was getting in front of the client, being organized and considerate is important. It's so everyone can come together, clients, prospects, colleagues, organize with something ready to say and have a more enriching conversation. So agendas, I highly recommend you consider doing consistently. The joke is, just so everyone knows that from a personal perspective, even if I'm having coffee with a friend and a meeting goes on the calendar, there's always an agenda. I'll put catch up, book release, what's your focus in your career? And my friends laugh at me, but then they show up and they say, oh, Jennifer, I know you wanted to talk about your book. I know you wanted to talk about this. And I'll say, I also know that you got things going on from our last call. It keeps all of us and the ADHD people as well, Lauren, to your point, keeps us focused, but more it's about enriching each other's lives and being prepared for those conversations so we can walk away feeling like we spent really good quality time together. So in that's all about in terms of sharing. Let's move on now. That's agendas. I hope you're loving it. By the way, I'm going to put you all on the spot at the end and ask you for one thing that you've learned today that you'll consider incorporating into your everyday practice. So I know some of you are on mute, whatever. You can use the chat when we get to that point in the presentation. All right. Oh, so care. Ooh, this is what you can do at the very end of the meeting, or you can do as well, continuing to cover that client. So very fortunate to have worked with some of the most successful people on the planet and one of the largest organizations in the world. And I noticed something very interesting: consistency and integrity. They're the consistent constants, if you will, that they were doing in order to close business, in order to be relational, that would lead to transactional, and that would earn trust. So I'm going to pause here. I'm curious, Bazil, what does consistency mean to you? When you hear the word consistency, what does that mean?
That's a heavy question.
What does consistency mean to you?
I say that's a heavy question.
It's a heavy question. Oh, it's a heavy question. That's true. Depends on your feelings about it, right? I love it.
Well, I'll say to begin, it depends on what we're dealing with, first. And secondly, is staying with it. Because to me in business, all of us, sometimes you do not feel like it. Sometimes you do not want to do it. But the consistency for me is when you never take do not like to do it or do not want to do it into account. You do what needs to be done to keep the ball moving down the line.
That is an absolutely gorgeous answer, if I may say so.
Thank
Beautifully
you.
stated on so many levels. Because you're right, sometimes we wake up and we just don't feel like doing it, but sticking with it and showing up and constantly being there in a consistent way, it really does share and show how we'll show up for people in what I call bear, bull, and null times, Wall Street language. Bear times, things are not great, things are down. Bull times, things are up and fabulous. Null times, when nothing is happening. That's beautifully stated. All right, that's so good. All right, I'm so happy. Doug, I'm gonna punt it over to you if I may for a moment. What does integrity mean to you?
Making commitments that you can keep and doing what you say you're going to do.
Fantastic. By the way, I love the specificity and brevity when you answer that question. It's gorgeous. So good.
There's a member of ours, Barry Berman. Some of you know him. He teaches classes on integrity, and he's amazing. He has the topic, he understands the topic, and I think about him and integrity every day, and aspire to be as good as he is.
I love that. It's gorgeous. We can all aspire to be the best versions of ourselves all the time. Love that. Beautifully stated. So, earning trust, I like to use the word earn versus build because I say a house can be built, it can burn down, it can be flooded, but once you earn something, it's very difficult to lose it. Warren Buffett famously says you have 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to lose it. So thinking about how do you want to show up, how do you want to share, how do you want to care about people is really, really important day in and day out in business and in life. Who are you or your ethos? What is it that you provide that no one else does? So before I go into the next portion of this, Ellen, that's a great segue back to you. I gave you homework during this session. I just wanted to check in with you and see, Ellen, how are you doing with your fabulous introduction? I met you for the first time. Nice to meet you, Ellen. So what do you do?
I'm the global real estate leaders based in Vancouver, driving industry innovation, strategy, and trust through visionary leadership.
Oh my gosh. Okay, everyone, what do we think about Ellen's? I want to react and I'm trying to hold myself back. What do we think about what she just did now versus what she did before? Ruby, I saw you clapping. Do you want to unmute yourself and jump in and give Ellen your thoughts? So good.
I think it's straight to the point. I mean, short and sweet, and I think it runs very well compared to the first one. That's what I've got to say.
Beautiful, Ruby. Thank you for that. Excellent. Emily, everyone's giving you clapping for you. So great job, Ellen. Does anybody else, Bill, do you want to jump in and share what you thought about Ellen's quick, concise presentation of herself?
Yeah, it was easily understood. And I can listen to that and say, that's something I'm interested in or not. And or not is sometimes really useful too. So applause, applause.
Nicely done, Ellen. Beautifully. Really. And the thing is, all that, the language of helping or doing this, doing that, you completely very confident, very concise. And I naturally, as Bill stated, I'm going to highlight what Bill and Ruby both stated. I want to ask you deepening questions as a result of what you just shared. I have so many questions for you personally now. Plus, by the way, just so you know, I'm from Everett, Washington, originally born and raised. So went to Vancouver a lot when I was in college. So great town. Bias on that front as well. It's a West Coast thing. So everyone, let's think about now, we have our emotional contagion to start. We have our
Jennifer, Lauren has a question.
Oh,
Lauren has
please
a question.
jump in. Sorry about that. Oh,
Well,
I can
it's
see
not
you
a
now.
question. It's a little feedback, and I hope Ellen will forgive me because I know she loves me. So I think it was really good, but there was no energy in your voice. So what I would suggest is maybe I saw the smile because you probably at the beginning were like, I really don't want to do this, and then you smiled. Try to like just put some energy in your voice because I think that it would, oh, I know it would come across so much stronger because you're a powerhouse and you're the way that you present to that is kind of like, yeah, I do this, you know?
Well, thank you, Lauren. I really appreciate it. Next
Okay.
time, yeah, definitely. I have to
Okay.
say, Jennifer caught me off guard when she asked the question the first time, and then so she made me think a little bit about how I should phrase it. And I'm like, okay, yeah. So I really appreciate all the feedback. Thank you. And yes, confidence and projection of the voice is very important. I always get feedback on that. Thank you, Lauren. Yes.
Maybe we give her another chance, Jennifer.
I think we should, Larry. I think that's a great idea. Ellen, do you feel like do you want to go one more time?
Come on, Ellen.
Ellen, think about your emotional contagion. Favorite food, what it makes you feel.
Now she's muted. That's funny.
Of all time, she's muted now.
Oh, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, so Ellen, so it's so nice to meet you, Ellen. So what do you do?
So nice to meet you, Jennifer. I'm a global real estate leader based in Vancouver, driving industry innovation, strategy, and trust through visionary leadership. Is there anything else you'd like to learn more about me?
I would. I'd love to know how long you've lived in Vancouver. See that what happened. Beautifully done, because then we can continue on. Lauren, what did you think?
Much better.
Okay, and the advantage you have too is that everyone on this call knows each other pretty well. So you've had history and background, so you've seen each other present. So that's really important as well because I want you to come across as your authentic self when you're presenting yourself to other people. Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Now, the meeting's coming to an end. Well, we still have 15 minutes together, but the meeting's coming to an end, and you're thinking about next steps to share in terms of the wrap up and what to expect with your clients, prospects, and colleagues. Really important thing to note here is something called the forgetting curve. The forgetting curve, if you think about your prospects and clients, they may be meeting with someone else right after you. Think about the volume of meetings you have every single day. Now, I recommend highly that you send that thank you note within 24 hours of meeting the person. Does it mean you have to have done all the work that you promised you would do? No. But that thank you note is really important, and it's literally a construct of thank you so much for your time. Jim, I loved hearing about how you give your grandchildren a unique coin from their birth year. Personal. Second, put something that's literally related to the call. Great to discuss XYZ product, offering, etc. Then action items. I will follow up with you in 2 weeks. I will do the next steps. By the way, my strong advice to you is to avoid the tennis match of emails when scheduling the next meeting. If you have someone's active attention, they're completely in the meeting with you, 30-minute meeting, the last 5 minutes should be a check-in, next meeting scheduling, and commitment to next steps. Your consistency and your integrity, it earns trust. If you say you're going to send a thank you note within 24 hours, make sure you're sending a thank you note in 24 hours. And to your point, Basile, about consistency as well, put notes on your calendar or reminders, use AI however you want to remind yourself to check in with frequency, even when nothing is going on. So to make sure people know that you're in service of them at any time they may need you. Those quick reminders are very important. I often get asked, well, I don't want to feel like I'm bothering the person. Well, actually, if you don't remind them that you exist, they may forget about what you offer, first of all. And second of all, unfortunately, there's something in psychology called the spotlight effect. People inherently are thinking more about themselves than others. Even as a giver like myself, Adam Grant style, givers, takers, and matchers, I'm definitely 100% a giver. So people sometimes feel bad because they don't want to bother someone else. Well, if you don't remind them that you're there for them to help them and to solve something for them, notice I don't use the word sell. you're solving something for them that they may need to have solved to be a help and benefit to them, they may forget that you are there. Not intentionally so. We just get very wrapped up in our own lives and what we're doing. So, Doug, I'm going to just pause here if I may, and I'd love to go around the room. Today we did prepare, share, and care. I'd like to check in with everyone to see what their commitment is and one thing they're going to use going forward. What do you think, Doug?
I have a couple things that you addressed there where I want to be complete in whatever I do. And I think it's probably thinking about being polite instead of hitting them multiple times. And I need to break it up. I need to do that within 24 hour and feel like, maybe more of spread out over time instead of one big monumental tone makes a lot more sense. So thank you for that.
Oh, I appreciate it. So kind of you, Doug. Amazing. Fantastic. So good. All right, let's go around the proverbial room then. I'll call on people in order as I see you. So Lauren, you are up first. What is one thing that you possibly can take away and incorporate into your everyday practice from this session today? Oh, you're on mute still. I think she might be having connection issues, Doug. I can see her kind of moving. So I might move on. I'm going to move on to Anne Marie and come back to you, Lauren, in a moment.
Jennifer, thanks so much. That was such a brilliant session. The big one for me is the emotional contagion and tuning into that if you've had a few sales calls where you've had a no and then you're going into another one. So that was gold. And also reaching out more than once and not thinking you're bothering people. Love that too.
Phenomenal. Oh my God,
Thank
so
you.
good. I don't want you to
Thank
check
you.
in with me and tell me how you're doing with that as well. I mean that.
will.
I don't just say that. Excellent.
Thanks so much.
No, thank you. You're delightful. I appreciate it. All right, Bill, who appreciates your wife's cooking so much. What did you take away?
Actually, if it's okay, Jennifer, I've got a question for you.
Please, of course.
Great. The question I have is this. Big fan of agendas to some extent. The engineer in me kind of leans in that direction. But one of the things I'm starting to do more is draft agendas and then forwarding that to whoever I'm speaking with. So it becomes our agenda, not my agenda. And I was just wondering your thoughts on that.
I love it. So what I would do is put simply the word proposed agenda in front of it.
Right.
And say, this is the proposed agenda I've come up with. And what I do oftentimes too, Bill, if I don't have time to send it back and forth, let's say it's the day before the meeting, I will send always the calendar invite, always has in the body an agenda. It doesn't, sometimes it's just one bullet that says introductions. And then the second bullet may say next steps. That's it. Very general and open. So we have the freedom to be relational versus transactional. So I love definitely sending in advance is great to say, I've had some thoughts. What happens if you consider the feelings and thoughts of someone else and they're part of building the agenda with you, they're going to feel like you're more connected and considerate of their time. So I love doing that. I think it's really, really good to do that. It's funny, I have to tell you so quickly, I did a training workshop for a huge $1 trillion asset manager last year. And this man walks in the room, I'll never forget. He grabs my hand in this bone crushing grip and says to me, good luck teaching me anything. I'm 6 months away from retirement. So we went through the whole day and he said, Jennifer, I've been doing this for almost 40 years and no one's ever taught me about agendas. During the sales training, he wrote 2 agendas on the break. And he came up to me in the lunch and he said, Jennifer, I can't believe it. My client, I'm going to introduce a new product to them before I retire, just said, thank you so much for the agenda. 2 months later, he closed a deal. And, I think it's just, again, it's even proposed agendas, Bill, definitely. The more you can keep people on board with what you're doing, the better.
Great. Thank you.
No, thank you. Excellent. Fantastic. Emily, I see you're on camera and you're ready to share.
I'm unmuted too, right?
Beautiful.
All right. So I've got a meeting coming up that's really important. And I wanted to give you my opening and see what you think, okay?
Oh, sure. Go for it.
I'm here to discuss creating a communications link with the private sector full-time during the LA Olympics. We did it for London and can assist you to do it in LA.
Good. You know what I would do? I love it. But what you can do is you could use the one in London as a blueprint to help them to exceed expectations, accelerate. Think about things that you did for the London event that you can then use in the LA event that will help them to completely supersede any expectations. The fact that you've established credibility and the fact you've done something already is phenomenal. So I would say thinking about it from their perspective, always sitting in the seat of the prospect or the client, how will it land with them? I like it though. I think it's real, you're on a right track for sure.
The problem is we volunteered in London and I need to get paid to do it in LA.
That's okay. Your experience in London has lent itself to you already knowing stakeholder engagement, what's important to the attendees, all of those things lends itself. I would even, don't even, the fact that you volunteered versus getting paid, I wouldn't bring that into the equation in the beginning. That's for them to need to know, not must know, or you to offer.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is really helpful because this is a really important meeting.
Yeah, and you want to start out right. Also, too, is that if you create the agenda, my recommendation is, establish the baseline, and then what you can do is say, this is the high level agenda I've created. Before I begin, I would love to hear from you. Introductions are a must at the beginning, of course. Get the other people to talk more than you. Functional MRIs of the brain when someone else is in a meeting with you. So imagine you've been in a meeting, somebody says to you, we've all had this, I'm sure. 30-minute meeting, someone's talked for 28 minutes, you've talked for 2. The person that's talked the most said, wasn't that a great meeting? I really enjoyed getting to know you. And you sit there and go, I said almost nothing and they love me. How does that work? Well, the functional MRIs, when someone's talking and sharing with you, it makes you deemed to be more likable because they're building trust and a relationship with you as they're speaking and as they're sharing. It's awesome neuroscience. I love this stuff. So Emily, try to, as soon as you can when you open the meeting, get the other person talking as soon as possible. For example, imagine you're walking down the street, you see money on the ground. Why do I open that with that question right away? Why did Doug ask me questions immediately to incorporate me and give me credibility as we started? And then I opened up with involving all of you almost immediately. Hopefully that helps.
Yes, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Deeply appreciate you attending as well. All right, Ruby, what's a takeaway for you?
I think
Come on, Ruby.
I like the care aspect. What I already do is I have a policy where within 3 working days I reply to correspondences. And even when I don't have an answer, I will send a holding reply so that the person at least knows I've received their inquiry. And so I think I'm going to do more of that.
Good.
And I think that's what I really wanted to share, because most of the time when you check in with clients, they tend to generate repeat businesses. So it's something that I'm going to really look into. Thank you.
Phenomenal. I love that. Now I know 3 days. That's what you do. I'm trusting you now in 3 days to talk to me. No pressure. Basile, how about you? One thing.
The agenda.
Great. Okay. Your commitment 1 to 10. 10, you're absolutely going to do it. Start to incorporate agendas. 1, you're not really interested. You're just saying it.
I'll do it. The way I approach it, I'll say I'll do it.
Good.
But I'll use also judgment in the sense that in some meetings, to your point, you can say introduction and next step. I'll use it effectively, but I'll use judgment. And based on the person I know, based on what we're dealing with, and some people just say, let's meet, and then we take it from there. And some I will put the agenda. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Gorgeous. I like that. So you're going to leave it a little bit flexible based on the situation and the person.
Wait a minute, I gotta jump in there. Basil, are you married?
No, yet.
Not yet? Okay.
No.
Even a significant other?
Yes.
Okay, significant other asks you that question. Yes, I'm gonna do it. Okay.
No, well, I want to be open and sincere.
You have to be honest, though.
No, I want to say it as it is. I want to say exactly precisely as it is. I've got your point, Bill. I'll definitely, when I get married, I'll go that line. But I'm not yet. So, but I just want to say exactly, it's a brilliant idea. I've never done it. I'm going to start
Good.
using it. But I was just thinking with using it, thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
Good.
saying.
Spot
Thanks for
on.
the tip, Bill. I appreciate the tip.
Jim, how about you?
You and I are basically on the same headlines. I use the word hook. The only new word I picked up with integrity is consistency. Talking points instead of agenda with my particular clientele. It seems to personalize it versus setting an agenda. Here is our talking points. What are your talking points?
Yes, love it.
And then it makes it more personable, I guess. Agenda at your level, yes. I work with business development people. All
Yeah.
right. So I make it as personal as possible. I use the word talking points. And this is to the panel. It took me a long time to recognize this.
Good.
I call them touch points. Every whether it be a business card or anything else, treat that as your only marketing tool. The reason I bring that up, it took me years and years and years to understand what's in it for them.
Correct. That's everything.
Every touch point, what's in it for them, and it really clears the fog of anything you're doing.
150%. It's always what's in it for the client. How are they showing up? I love that. Thanks, Larry. I appreciate it. So good. Ellen, how about you? And then I'll give it back to Doug to wrap us up.
Well, I have to say, I had an amazing time for you to share about the elevator pitch, the 15-word pitch. And also, I think prepare, share, and care. That is the three things I learned. And of course, agenda, follow up. These are things that I think is really important. So thank you so much.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you so much. First of all, everyone, the gift of your time is the biggest gift you could ever give. So thank you so much for doing that. I have to make sure that I follow the instructions from Fabulous Gem. So if you want to take a look at my book, or you happen to be on the East Coast, there's an event happening. It's going to be on sale starting September 16th. I don't usually do this marketing. This is very uncomfortable even for me, but we have to push ourselves sometimes. September the 18th, I'm having an event in New Jersey for the formal release of the book, so you can buy it on Amazon, across platforms, etc. So feel free to take a look at that. You can QR code it if you want, or contact me after. And then, of course, I've got a slide for my website, which is all the same place. Nothing better than the gift of someone's time. Thank you for your high level of interaction. And most importantly, I want you to be more connective in your communication and have better, more enriching relationships. Doug, thank you so much for having me, and back to you.
Looks like you're getting a lot of hearts there.
Well, that's good. I love a heart. I love hearting people.
Instead of hurting. I like that.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is the book is available, and so if people go to that QR code, can they purchase the book or
Yes, you can pre-order the book. Yes, definitely. Either if you live in the United States, you can buy it from the local bookstore. Bookends in Ridgewood, New Jersey is my distributor. There's author copies that actually I have to tell you, Doug, it's really cool. The author copies, I'm very specific about when I do things. I've got the glossy ampersand and gigantic, and then the print on demand is how Amazon does it, but the author copies are cool because literally the inside looks like the outside. I only did hardback books, audio books, and also an ebook. One thing important to note is that a portion of all the profits from the hardback books a portion of the profits will go to Make-A-Wish New Jersey Foundation. They grant wishes to critically ill children. It was really important for me to make a donation off the back of this book as well.
It's a great organization. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for enlightening all of us. That's the end of the program. Definitely buy the book. Take it to the next level in terms of as people read the book, and kind of as a next step. What are you imagining that next step to be? Can they get back in touch with you? Do you have consulting and support services? Training? What are some of the things for people to think about above and beyond the book?
Thank you for that. So I really do specialize and hone in on human communication. So you don't have to necessarily be in a sales role. I say everyone all the time is sharing information. If you're in any way solutions focused for colleagues, clients, and prospects, I can help you with having better, more quality conversations that hopefully lead, of course, to the bottom line. I deem success in solving for other people and showing up for them and being in service of them. Jim, what's in it for them? Always, what can we do to elevate people and have a more fulfilling life? So I coach, I train, I consult keynote speakers, panelists. I work with people who are anywhere from small, medium, and very large companies for sales training, for presentation skills. And also, what was a byproduct, Doug, of what I do, I was asked to do keynotes and emceeing of events, which surprised me, candidly. So, leaving corporate, there was a huge churn of people that left at the same time or earlier than myself. And so, companies have been bringing me in to either MC or to keynote at events as well. So, those services are available too. I am truly a solopreneur, everyone, just so you know. I love what I do, and everything I do is tailored and bespoke to what your immediate, mid, and long-term needs are. Even this session, we talked about what was beneficial, what people really needed and or could want out of this session. So even this session was tailored to the needs of the Global Chamber.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks
My
everybody
honor.
for attending. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks
everybody.
so much. Thanks,
very
Thank
much.
Jennifer.
you. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. Appreciate
Bye.
it. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Sophie. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you so much. They made it successful in the background.
Thank you, Jennifer. Would you maybe let's end the the room first, then let's jump in again for
Do you want
the
to jump into, should we jump into the number that I have, or do you want to jump into the same?
Oh yeah, you give us the let's go there to your Zoom.
Okay, sounds good. All right,
Okay.
everyone, thank you so much for the gift of your time. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.